Welcome to Movie Story Short, where we summarize your favorite films in just a few minutes. Today we're diving into Bad Sisters, a thrilling drama filled with dark humor, suspense, and an unforgettable story about family bonds and revenge. The story unfolds with a gripping blend of mystery and familial ties in Bad Sisters. Set in Ireland, the plot revolves around the Garvey sisters, Eva, Grace, Ursula, Bibi, and Becca, who are bound by a promise to protect one another no matter the cost. The story alternates between the present and flashbacks, creating an intricate web of events leading up to the dramatic climax. In the present, Grace's husband, John Paul Williams, has died under mysterious circumstances. While Grace appears devastated, her sisters have mixed emotions. The insurance agents, Thomas and Matt Claflin, are investigating John Paul's death because their company faces financial ruin if the payout for his life insurance claim is approved. Suspicious of foul play, they begin digging into the Garvey family's life. The investigation serves as a frame for the flashbacks that unravel the story. In the flashbacks, John Paul is revealed to be a manipulative and abusive man who has made life unbearable for Grace and the rest of the Garvey sisters. He controls Grace with an iron grip, isolates her from her family, and emotionally abuses her to the point where her self-esteem is shattered. The sisters are deeply troubled by how John Paul's behavior is affecting Grace. They also have their own grievances against him due to his toxic interference in their lives. Eva, the eldest sister, is especially protective of Grace. As the head of the family after their parents' death, she feels a strong sense of responsibility for her siblings. John Paul undermines her at every opportunity, going so far as to sabotage her career. Ursula, the fun-loving sister, becomes entangled in a dangerous affair, which John Paul discovers and uses as blackmail. Bibi, fiercely loyal and unafraid of confrontation, despises John Paul for his cruel treatment of Grace and the family. Becca, the youngest, struggles to establish her own identity while dealing with John Paul's condescending attitude toward her ambitions. The sisters' frustration with John Paul boils over into discussions of eliminating him to free Grace from his grip. Initially, these conversations are hypothetical, but as John Paul's behavior escalates, the sisters decide to take matters into their own hands. The series of flashbacks reveals their increasingly desperate attempts to kill him, each of which goes hilariously or tragically awry. Their first attempt involves poisoning John Paul during a family dinner. Bibi spikes his soup with a deadly toxin, but their plan backfires when John Paul refuses to eat the soup, suspecting something is off. The sisters scramble to cover their tracks, and John Paul remains none the wiser. However, the failed attempt emboldens them to try again. The second attempt sees the sisters rigging a boat trip to make it look like an accidental drowning. They tamper with the engine and plan to leave John Paul stranded in the freezing water. Unfortunately, the plan is foiled when Grace insists on joining the outing, and the sisters cannot proceed without endangering her. Once again, they are left frustrated but undeterred. Their third attempt involves tampering with John Paul's car brakes. The sisters hope he will lose control and crash. However, the car ends up being borrowed by someone else, and the unintended victim narrowly avoids disaster. The sisters are horrified at the potential collateral damage, which makes them question their resolve, but their hatred for John Paul keeps them focused. As the story returns to the present, Thomas and Matt grow increasingly suspicious of the Garvey sisters. Their investigation uncovers inconsistencies in the sisters' alibis and strange occurrences leading up to John Paul's death. Matt, the more empathetic of the two brothers, begins to doubt whether pursuing the case is the right thing to do. Meanwhile, Thomas is relentless, driven by the need to save their company. In a surprising twist, it is revealed that John Paul's death was not caused by any of the sisters' elaborate plans. During a heated argument with Grace, John Paul's cruelty reaches its peak, and she snaps. In a moment of rage, she strikes him, causing him to fall and suffer a fatal injury. The sisters, discovering what has happened, rally around Grace and work together to cover up the incident. They hide the truth, believing they are finally free from his tyranny. The climax of the film brings all the threads together as Thomas and Matt confront the Garvey sisters with the evidence they have gathered. However, the sisters' strong bond and shared determination to protect Grace prevent the truth from being exposed. Thomas and Matt are left without enough concrete proof to deny the insurance claim, and they are forced to pay out the policy. In the final scenes, the Garvey sisters stand united, stronger than ever after enduring the ordeal. Grace begins to rebuild her life, free from John Paul's shadow, while the sisters reflect on the lengths they were willing to go to for family. The film ends on a bittersweet note, highlighting the complex dynamics of sibling relationships and the resilience of the human spirit. And here we end the movie. Don't forget to subscribe to Movie Story Short and like the video. See you in the next film summary.